If you're still using Facebook ads as the primary way to grow your audience, I have bad news for you. Hello again, everyone. My name is James Shotwell, and this is the Music Biz channel. Today, we're talking about the problem with Facebook ads. Now, this might be a surprise to some of you because if you've been watching the channel, you'll know that I have talked about the power of social media advertising for some time, but let's be honest. Social media advertising is a code word for paid reach because at the end of the day, Facebook is basically charging us to get a hold of our followers. People have said, hey Facebook, I want to know more about this guy's music, and instead Facebook has been like, that's cool, we'll let you know if they do something as long as they pay for ad space. And honestly, I'm sick of it. But we have to face the facts. Facebook ads and Instagram ads have to date proven powerful in certain cases. I mean, you can't use either app without seeing a ton of ads, and for the last several years, Facebook has made millions upon millions from Facebook advertising, all boasted by the fact that they had these insanely powerful algorithms that allegedly were pretty much more specific than any other ad company out there. But in recent months, a few things have changed that have created big problems at Facebook, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So right off the bat, if you've ever used Facebook ads, you'll know that it's all about targeting and how much you're willing to spend. And this is where the first problems with Facebook ads often come up, because I talk to a lot of young musicians who believe that they can spend the bulk of their marketing spend on advertising through Facebook and Instagram, and that will build up their following because they've seen one or two artists over time who pull it off successfully. I mean, I can think of artists now who I did not know before I saw their music video promoted to me on Facebook and that caught my attention. But for every one of those that happens, there's probably dozens, if not hundreds, that come and go through my feed and I never even stop to look at them. And that's part of the problem. There's a ton of competition, the specificity is all over the place, and the only way you can get really good results is if you are so good at the specificity of your ads. And to its credit, Facebook does have a marketplace program where you can learn how to do the ads and everything, but at the end of the day, most people will tell you it's a matter of trial and error. So you might spend $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 before you figure out what exactly works for you. And for a lot of young artists, that's a lot of money. But honestly, that's not the big problem with Facebook ads. That problem is a little company called Apple. So if you're aware, a few months ago when Apple rolled out its new iPhones, it also rolled out this really cool new security feature that, well, actually it's part of a suite of security features, but in essence what they do is they block all those weird trackers from following you around the internet. So for the better part of the last decade, almost all internet advertising has kind of relied on this backbone to the internet where apps and sites and whatnot can follow you through everything that you do. That's why it feels like Instagram is listening to you talk about something when you open it and then you see an ad for the thing you were just talking about. It's because you've been searching for it, it's been out there in the ether, and yes, maybe in some cases they're listening to you, but that's neither here nor there for this video. The point being, Apple cut off that pipeline. Not entirely, but they've started giving users a power that they've never had before, and that is the power to say, no, you cannot track me across the internet. Not just one company, but all companies. And Apple even added tools that will stop reporting whether or not you've opened an email or clicked links in an email. Basically, Apple is putting the power of security in the user's hands and allowing users to decide whether or not they actually want to share their information with advertisers. And that's where the problem with Facebook ads is coming, because since that's been implemented, Facebook ads have plummeted. In fact, earlier this year in 2022, the company reported a single day loss on the stock market of over $250 billion. That is a massive drop. And the reasons for this are numerous, but the ads were the big one that Mark Zuckerberg talked about in a call with investors. There's also the amount of money that Facebook is spending on the metaverse right now, which is still just a concept and not really an actual thing, yet the company spent $10 billion last year investing in it. And then there's, just the general consensus that Facebook has maybe made the world a little bit worse for all the things that it's done to bring us closer together. And there's just a lot of backlash coming at the company right now. But the ad problem is really the big one, because if Facebook can't figure out how to target people successfully, advertisers are going to drop off. But for artists, the problem is already here. Now, I don't mean any offense to anyone that is a couple of decades older than me, but by and large, the people who are most connected to the world of tech are the young people. So the people most likely to take advantage of new tech and new possibilities, like cutting yourself off from being tracked by every app imaginable, Young people are most likely to use that. Old people will just keep using their phone. They don't really think about security that way. But young people, the younger generations, are really tied in to how they're being tracked online. So ever since Apple introduced this tool, millions upon millions of people had said, stop following me. So as a musician who's most likely trying to target people between the ages of, let's say, 18 and 34, the amount of people that Facebook can accurately target is dropping. Because Facebook, as a result of these new rules by Apple, is getting far less data than it ever got before. So its ability to accurately target people that match the interest that you put into it is getting a little bit harder to do. And based on the results that we're seeing and reports we're seeing in other parts of the internet, the returns on ads appear to be dropping as well, which is a clear sign that the algorithm is no longer working. And that spells big problems for Facebook. But for musicians, it should be a red flag to not get involved financially in this platform at this time. And I think I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, James, Facebook and Instagram are two of the most popular social media platforms on the planet. And I hate that they're owned by a giant corporation. I hate that they charge me money to reach my fans, but my fans are on there and I need to reach them. So what am I supposed to do if I'm not using Facebook ads? And I'm not saying don't use them at all. I'm just saying really think about the spend and look at the return you're getting for your investment. And if it's not working out, you can always try adjusting those ads, but maybe it's time to just do something else. For example, a couple weeks ago, there's videos right here on this channel, we talked a lot about the idea of fan clubs. Whether it's a mailing list, a Patreon account, or something else that you develop on your own, it is entirely simple and cheap and very quick to set up a fan club online where your fans can get updates from you instantaneously in their inbox or on their cell phone, and they don't have to worry about being on Facebook or being on Instagram to see things. You can reach them directly. That's more accurate. It's going to give you better results, higher engagement levels, and the best part is you don't have to pay to reach them. An email can be free. You can reach everyone that likes your Facebook page with an email and guarantee that it reaches them as long as you have their email address, and it wouldn't cost you anything. Meanwhile, if you wanted to reach everyone that likes your Facebook page on Facebook, you're going to spend $50, $100, $200, maybe even $1,000 to accomplish that. Why do that? Why run yourself into a ground supporting a corporation who has repeatedly lowered the reach of your posts as an attempt to gouge you for prices when you could just start your own fan club and take matters into your own hands? Now listen, I know that this might be scary for some of you. Facebook has been a big part of all of our lives for almost 2 decades at this point. But we have to be real about what's happening and how we're spending our money and why. Facebook is not artist friendly. It's not creator friendly. And I don't know that it has been in many years. At this point, Facebook is utilizing creative people as a means to gouge them for advertising so that they can reach their fans who may or may not be interested in the content that the Facebook then pushes in front of them. That is if they even see it among all the other stuff that's filling up their Facebook feeds. And you can say the same thing for Instagram. Though maybe not as crowded as the Facebook homepage or the Facebook feed, Instagram is increasingly cluttered with ads. And if you're going to cut through the noise, you've got to be incredibly clever and you've got to be willing to spend some money. And if you're not ready to do those things, then let's try a fan club. Let's try something else. Let's stop spending money on ads that are not proven to work. And if you need help on how to do that, I'll be here each and every week. Music Biz exists to help you navigate the modern music business. So if you haven't done so already, click the subscribe button down below or visit us on YouTube. It's youtube.com/musicbiz because I don't know where you're watching this. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for your support. I'll be back very soon. And until then, take care of yourself because you deserve it.